Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanduletu. This is my space and I do faith-based as well as lifestyle and university style content here on YouTube. So if you're interested in any of those, please do consider subscribing. In today's video, I am going to be talking about the residence I have been living in for the past 2 years. I haven't spoken about it really because I just don't feel safe saying where I live on the internet. But now that I'm moving out, or now that I have moved out rather, I am ready to talk about that and to also give you some information in case you are being placed there or you'd like to live there, or you want to know a little bit about city residences. I have only lived at this one residence, so I don't know much about any other residence. Yeah, I'm also a COVID fresher, so yeah, there's that. The residence I have been living at is called Glendower Residence. It is on the main road at Mowbray. It's like adjacent to the KFC and the police station. It's actually on lower campus where you'll find Tagwell, Leo Marquardt, Gracia, Baxter, College House. It's actually right next to College House. And I'm making this video particularly because not a lot of people know about this residence. Not a lot of people know about Glen. I'll meet like third-year students or post-grad students who are like, oh, so where do you live? Which res do you live at? And I'm like, Glendale Residence. And they're like, which one is that? I've never heard of that. And also, I searched on the internet because I don't think I'm very much informed. So I did search on the internet for videos to see if there are videos talking about Glendale Residence, and there are close to none. There are actually like 3, I think, and one of those is my video. So yeah, just wanted to add to this bank because I saw a gap in the marketplace. So firstly, I'd like to talk about the property. Glendower Residence is, like, you'll hear me call it a house interchangeably throughout this video. That is because to me it feels like a house and it looks like a house. I mean, it's not one of those huge reses with like 400 people living in it, and so yeah, it feels more like a house to me. And also just passing people by every day, knowing everyone's face, I feel like you can't really get that in a big res. And so yeah, that's why I call it a house. And also that might just be because it's been locked down, it's been COVID, so our movements have been more restricted than usual. But then also before COVID, in the first month, in March, we actually were playing games all the time. Not me, because I'm like reserved, and so I was staying in my room all the time, but like you could hear people playing games, watching sports, watching movies together, and all of that. Like, people were always just together at that house, which is one of my favorite things about Glendower Residence. But I'm not here to talk about that. That will be in another video. Okay, so Glendower Residence was at first a hotel, so you'll see that in how some of the rooms do have their own bathrooms. Like my room that I had last year, I actually took that video down. Other rooms are more communal bathroom style, like with showers, where you just have the room that you sleep in and then you have to walk to the showers. And basically only full-time students can live there. So the property has 3 buildings that people live in, and then there's a laundry room that's like detached from the rest of the house, and then there's a basketball court as well as like a lawn area so people can just chill. There's also some parking, so if you do have a car, you can park your car on the property with permission, of course. First year students, I don't know about second year and all of that, but like what I know is that first year students can't have cars on campus. First year students can't park their cars on campus. And so, but I have seen this year there were quite a few more senior students who were parking their cars on campus, which you might see in my upcoming vlogs and all of that. You basically don't do anything but study at Glen. There is a receptionist. She is so kind. She's the kindest person ever. And also some students do take over reception duties after her work hours. And then there are groundskeepers who like clean the yard and do a lot of things that I do not know about, because I didn't have to worry about those things, like maybe taking out the bin, cleaning bathrooms, I don't know. But grateful for that, because that actually meant that I could concentrate on my schoolwork, which is why I had to move out of home and live at a res, because at home I have so many duties and I tend to not do schoolwork and just focus on those. I tend to clean more and all of that, even to procrastinate and avoid schoolwork. So living at a res where there were people who were helping me out, not just me, but like where there were people who were helping out, that was really beneficial for me. And then another part of the staff is the warden. The warden is basically someone who is there as a parent when you were in primary school, like grade 2, grade 1, and your teacher would be like, I'm your parent when your parents are not here. When your parents bring you here and they leave, I am now your parent. That is what the warden is. He's well, I'm gonna say he because my warden was a he. He was there to take care of us, to make sure that we're doing okay. Mostly academically, but in other areas as well. He's the person that you email when you want to go home for a weekend or for a week or something. I don't know much about his duties because I honestly was not that much in contact with him. We didn't have many exchanges because of COVID, I think. So the only time I would talk to him was when I was requesting, or rather when I was letting him know that I would be going home for a weekend. But hopefully, if you guys get placed at Glen, you get to meet him more, because he is also someone who I think is really kind. He seems really genuine and caring. I know most people don't want authority or authority figures when they go off to university, but for me, I feel like it's really necessary, because human beings, if we have too much freedom, we can do unspeakable things and we can lose sight of why we are there. So I think it's really beneficial to have someone who's more level-headed, who's more, at a higher level but of maturity, of age and all of that, who will keep pulling you back or scaring you into being responsible. So a lot of people complain about how old UCT residents are, but for me, honestly, I love that. I love the history of the architecture, knowing that the building has a lot of stories in it. And also Glendower Residence, the building may be old, but I haven't heard of any walls or doors falling on anyone. They do take care of things when they break. So once my door lock wasn't working, so I just go down to reception, put it in, this book that they have for repairs, and within 10 minutes they had sent someone up to come and fix my door. And then also the walls don't mold. I know with the architecture nowadays they don't do ventilation, and so like walls will start molding and all of that, and it's just not safe for a human being who literally needs oxygen to breathe. So the house does have quite a few appliances and things, so you don't actually need to bring or furniture with you. They have this room that has like a sink and an urn, and then they do have a kettle in a different room, and then they do have microwaves in certain areas of the house, so that everyone has a microwave accessible to them. Fortunately mine was like just outside my door, so yeah. That was amazing. And then also you can have a bar fridge at Glendower Residence. You can buy a mini bar fridge and use that if you want to have milk in your room or you can't handle the DH food. Also, I will try to put up as many videos of different rooms so that you guys can see if you would feel comfortable with having a fridge there, or if you feel like you'd have enough space to get a bar fridge. You actually don't need one because you don't cook your own food, so you can actually get food and milk and cheese and butter and all of that at the dining hall. Another piece of furniture that they have at Glendower Residence are desks and a bed frame. So the bed frame is a single bed in case you want to buy, you know, your bedding and all of that in preparation for moving into residence. They have single beds that are wooden frames, so you don't need the, you can just buy your sheets and the duvet covers or comforter and your pillows. And then also they have sinks in the room, so you don't have to go out to brush your teeth every morning. You can just brush your teeth in your room. They have a little cupboard, they have a bedside table. So yeah, just watch my room tours if you'd like to see more in-depth information about the rooms. They also have wardrobes, so the wardrobes are different sizes, of course, in each room, so watch my room tours for that as well. They also have pin boards, so if you are being placed at Glen or any UCT res on campus residence, please do get pins to put on your pin board, because that's something I didn't get, that's something I didn't think about. So when I got there, I was like, this is actually going to be very useful, but I don't have pins, so I had to go buy pins. But yeah. Okay, so I'm realizing that the list of things they have in these rooms is growing longer. But the last thing actually is they do have bookshelves in the room. So yeah, that is very useful for organization and all of that. And then another thing you could get is your own iron so that you can iron your clothes. That's something I didn't think about that my mom thought about. Thankfully, she was with me when I was buying things to move into res. Okay, so a few quirks that Glendale Residence has includes the fact that it is a catering res at UCT, which is a first tier res, which means that you don't cook, the residence cooks for you, you know, provides your meals. So you pay for that. You know, it's all added up in your res fees. Side note, Glendale residence fees cost around 30,000 Rand a year, which is like 10 months. So yeah, that's another thing. And also, if you are on NSFAS, NSFAS pays for your residence fees. It doesn't have a dining hall at the residence, so you don't eat at the residence. You actually have to walk 3 times a day to go get your meals. Most people saw this as a I want to get out of here now thing. For me, it wasn't that much of I want to get out of here now. I didn't have much of a problem with it until, you know, these last few weeks when I was just like, okay, I'm so ready to not be here anymore. I think my thing with eating at Tagwell or living at Glendale Residence is the fact that I knew that I was going, like, I wanted to live at a catering res for my first 2 years just to get used to my degree, to get used to my courses, to get used to the workload, to get used to living on my own and being in university. And then the next years I would be more than happy to get out and cook for myself because I do love cooking. That is why I think I was more okay with the commute, because I had committed to living at a catering res. But the reason I'm going to tell you guys the story, which is basically a huge reason why I wanted to film this video and these types of videos, so that you guys can be informed where I wasn't. So I got to the residence at the end of orientation week, and so I wasn't paired with anyone like senior students to show me around and explain things to me. So for the first few days that I was living at Glendale Residence, I would actually walk because my mom's salon is close to the residence, so I knew there was a shop that sells food there, so I would actually walk and go buy food, like fish and chips and amakunya and whatever, and I'd go buy food. And so one day the receptionist is like, where are you eating? Have you been eating? And I'm like, yeah, I've been eating. Like, I go buy food, and she's like, you're not supposed to buy food because food is prepared for you at Tagwa. So I was like, oh, I did not know this. And so that's how I actually don't even know who I walked with to Tagwell. I think I walked alone with the first time I went to Tagwell to eat. So still, I was not sure that am I really supposed to be here? But she ended up being right, which of course she was right. But just not knowing how things work there was a bit scary, and also not knowing that there were certain facilities like a gym. I actually found out that there's a gym at the residence and a piano, which I started learning to play on my own using YouTube in the last few months of my time there, because no one had told me about that, which is also a reason why I wanted to be a mentor, because I love my school, guys, and so I do love helping other people who are arriving there to, get integrated and all of that. So the house is a unisex res, which means there are both males and females living there. So on one side where I was living last year, it's mixed. So my next door neighbor was a guy, the neighbor in front of me was a guy, and then there were also girls there and there and there. But they do not mix your roommate. So I had a roommate when I first arrived. Most first years have roommates. It's very rare for a first year to not have a roommate. And then the side that I got moved to when I came back after lockdown, and that I lived in still this year, is a girls only side. So it's just females living on that side, and then there's a side of the house where it's mixed again, and then there's a side of the house where it's just males. So that's how the house is organized. And then there is also a games room, which I forgot to mention, which is nice for, games nights. There are games, there's pool tables, there's the soccer table thing. So the last thing I want to talk about is the commute. This is also something I did not know much about, but UCT has a student shuttle. So it's called the Jammy Shuttle. You just need your student card. And since COVID, you also need UCT health check. This Jammy can take you to campus, can take you to Hidding. From Hidding, you can walk just a bit, get a taxi to Waterfront or wherever. And then there's also a Jammy that goes to Claremont. You can just basically go around Cape Town using the Jammy. But if you live at Glendower Residence and you want to go to Kailicha, or you want to go to Esterfield or Belleville, then you just walk down the road, and at the end of the street with the police station, you turn to your right and you'll see the taxi rank, and just ask there and they'll tell you what to do. And so yeah, if you're living at Glendower Residence and you want to go to upper campus, get to Tagwell, and then you'll see the Jammy stop in front of Tagwell. That's where you get the Jammy to go to upper campus. Now upper campus is just 6 minutes away if you just get on the Jammy. You can also look for the Jammy schedules on the UCT website. Look for Jammy schedules, say where you want to go and all of that, and it will show you the times that it's going to get there. So you just have to be on time, have your student card, and have your health check if we are still in COVID by the time you are seeing this. That is the end of this video, you guys. I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and honestly, I have loved living at Glendower Residence. Watch my other video for more information, or subscribe so that you can see the video when it goes up. I've loved living at Glendower Residence, and I've loved serving there, and I just hope that you guys will enjoy it as well. If you get placed there and you're worried about getting up in the morning and walking 3 times a day for your meals, my advice to you is to just commit and fall in love with living there, fall in love with the situation, because you won't enjoy the experience if you're always complaining in your mind or dreading certain parts of the experience. Overall, I just hope that you enjoy being there, and the privilege of, you know, God blessing you with opportunity to further your studies, to experience what it's like to live on your own but not have full on responsibility. Yeah, just love the people you're around. And even if you're not as social, like I'm not as social, I I genuinely have loved being around those people, even though I don't know most of their names. I just know their faces. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, and if you found it helpful, and if you want to, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, which, yeah, 2 years. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.